Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode of the YouTube Business Podcast, where we talk about starting a business on YouTube and treating YouTube as a business rather than as a creator. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Ron, who is tuning in from the Netherlands. Ron, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course, I want to do that, George. Maybe some people already have seen some videos about me on George's channel. So I'm coming from the Netherlands. I have some experience with YouTube now. I created a YouTube Shorts channel. I got about 45 million views in less than 50 days on a new channel. I also have 3 other long-form content channels and have about a team of 10 people that are like doing the whole process. So that's mostly my story with YouTube, and I think it's especially interesting to see how to handle YouTube as a business owner, and that's what this podcast is about. But first, before we start off, George, who are you?
Yeah, so my name is George. Thank you so much for tuning in to our podcast. And I have been on YouTube for the past almost 3 years now. I started my channel, it's funny enough, in 2012, I think. That's when I posted my first ever video. I just checked it out. So technically, I'm 10 years on YouTube, almost closing in on 11.
Damn.
But I'm consistently posting for the past almost 3 years now. I am sitting right now at 4,500 subscribers on my main channel. And I have a very big interest in YouTube as a business because I recently started my faceless channel, and I have been connecting to a lot of people in the industry who run successful channels as well, where they don't show their face and where they automate the whole process and they outsource the whole process of creating these videos. So, coming from e-commerce and understanding that traffic is the most important thing, attention is the new oil of the 21st century. I understand that content, whether it's long form, whether it's short form, by the way, this is something we're going to get into today. It's very interesting what we're going to talk about. So yeah, this is kind of where we are sitting right now. And the aim for this podcast for us, for Ron and for I, and obviously for all of you guys listening, is that, we want to create a community of people that are interested in treating YouTube not specifically as creators, although that's a great idea, but rather as a business owner who treats creating content as a cost, and then he weighs the benefits of how much money he can create or what kind of ROI can he get, because there are different types of monetizations that you can do on YouTube, and it's one of the most beautiful things, and there are different traffic sources. So it's a whole art and science all at the same time. So yeah, this is going to be a very interesting podcast, hopefully, and hopefully you guys can make it even more interesting by joining our free Discord community where we talk about YouTube as a business. We're now close to 100 members, and we are very active there. The links are going to be in the descriptions or wherever you're listening to this. You can just find them down underneath this video or podcast. So make sure to join our Discord community if you're interested in starting your own business on YouTube. So with that in mind, with this long intro and with this long rant, I think it's about the time we actually jump into the topics of today's talk.
Yeah.
So Ron, what are we going to talk today about?
Yeah. Also, in addition to that, maybe it's good to know for the people listening, when you join our Discord, you can also leave some questions in the chat, which we will also be covering in the podcast as well. So if you're struggling with specific things with YouTube or YouTube automation, share them in the Discord channel. We also reply in the channel, of course, but we also cover certain topics that are maybe easier to explain through voice than through typing. But the topics for today are indeed pretty interesting, since certain things are going to change on YouTube. So let me quickly give a small summary what we are going to talk about today. So according to the New York Times, there was a report published the YouTube Shorts, like right now, you have a YouTube Shorts fund, but you don't get like paid normally like the long form content. And YouTube is now looking at a way to monetize the YouTube Shorts in the normal monetization way. So basically you can make money with the YouTube partner program instead of the YouTube Shorts fund. And this can be really huge for especially YouTube short makers right now, YouTube short creators right now. Since like YouTube Shorts nowadays, without the Shorts fund, you get like almost no money.
And it's pretty random as well.
It's pretty random. Like I have one short that got like 60 million views and it made like $120. Like it's not much for the views, but for a YouTube Shorts, it's still pretty big. Because I also have another YouTube short with 30 million views and it got like $2 with monetization. So yeah, but the thing is, what's really crazy is about this update. Like you can really see, in my opinion, why YouTube is pushing this so hard, because they're losing the short form content game towards TikTok, Instagram Reels probably also, and YouTube is really trying to get the short form content creators towards the YouTube platform. And if they are launching this kind of partner program that is similar to the long form content, I think a lot of people will head towards YouTube because a lot of money can be made. And especially, like I already give a brief explanation of my background with YouTube. I grew a YouTube Shorts channel from 0 views to 45 million views in 50 days. And that already resembles, it's not that difficult to get a lot of views right now on YouTube Shorts, if you know what you're doing, of course. So, because like basically YouTube doesn't have enough short form content. So the short form content that is coming online is becoming more and more every day, but they're pushing it out more and more as well to keep up with TikTok, because TikTok, like there are so many short form videos published on there a day, it's crazy. YouTube can't keep up. So if you have a good strategy with your YouTube Shorts, you can literally blow up. And in combination, if they are going to change the monetization program, like blowing up and that new program, a lot of money can be made. So what do you think, George, of this way?
I think that, first of all, this opportunity with YouTube Shorts is not going to last forever. And I think that as any opportunity in the market, it exists up to a certain extent until that gap in the market is filled up. So, maybe at some point YouTube was the same thing, you would post a video and then, chances of you. But now, like, basically the competition is going to get more and more with each single day on YouTube. So I think that's important to keep that realistic. But then, you pointed out a very interesting you pointed out an interesting thing nice. About YouTube competing with Instagram and with TikTok. And this is a very interesting conversation because YouTube is the oldest platform and they have the most, as in video streaming, right? Yeah. And they have the most experience with paying creators for their content, right? And so, yes, they missed the boat, or they were not first to the party with the short form content, right? TikTok came on, but TikTok does not, it's a young company relatively to YouTube, so they don't have that much experience and data behind how to, connect with creators and how to pay them and stuff like that. So I think that YouTube has a very big advantage because they have a lot of experience. They know how it works. They have a lot of data. And for them to launch the short, it took them 2 years maybe. Yeah, something like that. But now, once they have everything settled in, once they have dialed in, and they've been experimenting with different way of presenting shorts on their home feed and the YouTube mobile app, and basically the threat for TikTok now is that more creators are going to start flocking to YouTube. Yeah. Because now there's an appeal in terms of money to create content there, because, if you can now create short content and monetize it the same way as you can monetize a long form video, then that all of a sudden changes everything. That it's not random anymore. Now your earning is tied to the RPM probably that's going to be the thing, right?
Yeah.
And to the views you get. So now all of a sudden this changes everything towards like, okay, what's the highest RPM topics and what's the how can we get the most views?
I agree. And what's maybe even more interesting is like I think about 4 weeks ago, YouTube, like first when YouTube Shorts was launched, it was with the algorithm, it was split from long format content and shorts. Like it was split from the algorithm. So for example, someone watches your YouTube short. If you then the next day you will upload a long form video, they won't get noticed because the whole algorithm was separate. But 4 days ago, or 4 weeks ago, that got changed. There's like a bridge made now between those type of content videos, which can be very interesting. Like when you start growing through YouTube Shorts and you eventually want to decide to make long form content because you want to do more with your audience or you want to cover, I don't know, long form content. Like you can just cover not everything in 1 minute. So maybe you want some more long form content. And I think that's the only possibility to do it is on YouTube. Because if you decide on TikTok to upload long form content, it's not the audience. And to convert the TikTok audience to your YouTube channel with long form content, I think the conversion will be really low. Like you can have 100,000 followers on TikTok. If you send them to YouTube, I'm not sure how many people will watch the long form content. So it becomes even more interesting to start out with short form content on YouTube with this change, because the money can be made now if this update comes. Also, YouTube is pushing it more. More and more people are watching the shorts on YouTube. And when you decide I'm sick of the short form content, or you want to also do the long form content, there is now a bridge made between long form and short form. I'm sure your audience will also watch the long form content much sooner than from TikTok. Yeah. That's also a very big change.
You actually sent me the article, I think, or the video where Todd, the guy who's responsible for the algorithm on YouTube, basically said that they launched shorts and they had a problem because they realized that the people who viewed the shorts had no interest in that creator's long form content. So like it was messing up a lot of things for them, and they were working on bridging that gap between, so someone watches your short, for example, right? And then, you know, they would get recommended your long form content as well. And I actually noticed that with the views on the shorts as well, because before it used to be like this. You posted a short, some time passes by. If the algorithm was like, okay, push it out, it then started going in like levels. 1,500, 3,000, whatever it is. And just like blah, 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 it was climbing. Now, and then it reaches and then it dies off right away. Now it takes a much longer time for the YouTube to start pushing your video or your short to the initial pockets of audience to test it. And it doesn't give so many more impressions, by the way. The impressions that it serves your short initially to has been cut a lot, or I've been noticing that. And I think now to get your short to go more viral, I think it became a little bit harder. I could be wrong though, but yeah, that's very, very interesting there.
Yeah, you still can become viral. You just need the right strategies, but that's like with everything. But indeed, like things changed. Like especially people are now seeing the opportunities in YouTube Shorts. So there are more shorts being uploaded. So there is more content for YouTube to push out as well. So you will automatically get less views, like if you use not certain strategies maybe to, like of course like the view duration and everything, like you need to have, like for short videos you need at least, like for 20 seconds short you need at least over 100 retention and stuff like that. There are tricks for that to achieve it, but I think the conclusion is when YouTube publishes this update that you can make a lot of money, or not a lot of money, but like similar amount of money with short form content compared to long form content. I think this will have a huge, it will make a huge difference for people to also upload more short form content on YouTube as well. Since, as you mentioned, YouTube has way more experience with paying the creators for what they created. So it can be big.
Man, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not just a fan of short content or anything.
We're
I know
old.
we've talked
We're
about.
old. We don't like TikTok. So, but I'm getting
Yeah.
like I'm on. If I'm honest, I don't watch YouTube Shorts myself. But seeing my analytics of the new Shorts channel I created, it's just crazy. People want it. Like,
Yeah.
we're in the like we're not that old. I'm 25. You're 26, right, George? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but people are on YouTube. They're also younger, you know, especially for the YouTube Shorts. I think it has a younger audience, but also, yeah, those people also need to be served, you know. And if you like it or not, you need to incorporate
Of
it
course.
somehow. I think
I think there's now what 1.5 billion users YouTube reported for the
for
YouTube
shorts,
they have.
yeah.
For shorts, just for that. But like I'm just thinking, where is this all going with the shorts? You know,
Yeah.
Are the audiences gonna completely, not completely, but slowly over time, completely ditch the long form content, or like, because what's the horizon really look like? I mean,
I don't know.
is it
YouTube shorts, like even shorter shorts. I have no clue.
because it feels like there is a big, okay, this is how I feel about it. I feel like there is a big polarization happening between like either you are okay, okay, 3 levels to it. Number 1, you're sitting on a toilet, you have 5 minutes.
Nice one. Okay, I'm listening.
Sitting on a toilet, you got 5 minutes, you open up TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts, boom, 5 minutes, that's your session time. And then you continue doing whatever you're doing. Level number 2 is you are having lunch by yourself at home or whatever. You don't have time for a podcast. You don't want to just numbnessly watch 5-second shorts. So maybe you'll open up a 10, 15-minute video. Okay, that's your level number 2. And then level number 3 is it's the evening, you're chilling at home, you're done with your work, you're done with everything, and you wanna commit to like an hour and a half, right? So now you can open up like a podcast, right? Or you just binge watch these 15 minutes videos, but like, yeah.
I'm not sure if I agree with it, because like when I'm like, my brain is also a little bit fried, if I'm honest. Even I don't even watch YouTube Shorts, but it's like all the dopamine hits you're getting from social media and everything. Like when I'm watching a movie at home in the evening, I still got like catching myself trying to look for the phone while I'm enjoying the series I'm watching, you know?
Yeah,
so I think it's the dopamine hit that people are looking for. And I think that you can only find that right now on level 1, and that's the short form content. You want the immediately dopamine hit, you want the fast transitions, you want to get straight to the point. Like you can already see it. Like if your video, your YouTube short doesn't look nice in the first 5 seconds, people are not going to watch. Like not for the younger generation, at least. Like we know, like I said, I also notice it with everything. Like every app, every thing on your phone is fighting for your attention, and your brain is like, I don't know, millions years old, and it just can just handle that much attention. And
exactly,
I don't know.
That's why it's important to guard yourself away from this. You wanna
that's
you
a
wanna
business owner, creator, and
exactly. You know, here on the YouTube Business Podcast, we treat and we try to be the ones who offer these drugs to people in terms of short form content, but ourselves, I mean, I'm talking probably for both of us as well here, is that I try to stay away from it as well myself, because you get into this loop of just, you know, constant dopamine hits and everything. But we're not here talking about evolutionary psychology and brain development and this and that. Yeah. So with that in mind, let's now tune in to the second topic of our podcast. And this is defining the value of your content. I had this thought today in the morning and while I was editing a video. And so basically, when people think, here's what it is. When people think about doing some kind of content on YouTube, they don't usually start with the end in mind, right? With the end user, with the viewer, right? Because we overthink this, like, oh, but the algorithm, oh, but this and that. The algorithm is just a representation of the people and their interests, right? If your video is shit and people don't like it, the algorithm is gonna know and it won't push your video, right? And so what I'm talking here about defining the value. So different videos carry different values. What are the different values? There is information value, so informative. There is inspirational value. There is educational value, entertainment. I think I said that already. But basically, each video has different value. And it's important for people starting a business on YouTube to define clearly what type of value they are providing for their end user, and then define who is their end user. Because by knowing this, it will be much more easier for you to create the right sorts of videos and know exactly where to focus your attention. Because creating an entertainment video that is aiming for the browse traffic is a completely different thing than creating a video that is an informative problem solving value aiming for traffic. Those are completely two different worlds, you know? The way you structure the video, and like in the entertainment video, your production quality matters a lot, right? Like the production of the video matters a lot. But for the solution type content, the production doesn't matter that much. What matters is the actual kind of info you're carrying, right? If something breaks on your computer, if Excel breaks or some kind of program breaks and you want to quickly YouTube or Google how to fix that problem, you don't really care how much effort that person put into producing that video. Instead of what you're looking is you just want to get as fast as possible to the solution to your problem, right? So understanding what value you are producing will help you understand better where to focus your energy. Okay, you're making entertainment video, focus on the script, focus on the jokes, focus on the production value. Okay, you're producing how-to kind of like solution-based content, focus on the meat, kind of the solution of the video. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I think also it's important to indeed keep your audience in the back of your head, since keep in mind who you're making the video for. A trick for this as well is maybe look at competitors or people in your same niche. See what people are commenting, see maybe if they have some sort of community, see what that community is like doing, talking about, so you can identify your audience and like tailor fit your videos to that kind of audience. But it's important to keep the audience in mind. But it's in the beginning it can be very difficult if you don't have any competitors or other examples of an audience. Like maybe in the beginning you don't know yet what your audience is. For the browsing suggested, at least, like for the solving videos, you already know, because people that have the problem will look for the video. So, but I agree overall.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, and I said this earlier, is that I think, well, at the moment, oh, by the way, we didn't mention our disclaimer. So also, we have a quick little disclaimer for you guys. Our opinions are subject to change over time. So everything that we talk about on the podcast and our opinions that we say, we believe in them 100% and we're honest about them. And this is exactly what we stand for right now. However, we also understand and we know that our opinions can change over time. And so we want to keep the right to ourselves to change our opinion if that so happens to be, right? If we learn something new, if we, and that will happen 100%, because as we go along this journey and our thinking and our mindsets change and our understanding of how this whole YouTube as a business thing works, we are going to change our opinions about certain topics. So whatever we are saying currently is what we stand for. However, we are also open to the possibility that we might think differently in the near future.
I agree. And I think that's also a good thing. It means we keep learning and we keep evolving, and like especially right now with the YouTube Shorts and everything, the market is changing fast. So your opinions will also change based on certain results you had, or challenges you faced, or mistakes you made. Like those are also very important elements of YouTube, making a lot of mistakes and learn from it. So I agree. Yeah, and also maybe a nice thing to say as well. The next topic we had, like it's not all clear yet when this will happen, but the vice president of the YouTube product management, his name is Amjad Hanif, if I pronounce it correctly. He mentioned that they're looking for ways to make the YouTube partner program available for more people. So lowering maybe the subscriber count or the watch hours. Especially if you're a small creator, if this is happening, this can be very beneficial for you, since it might happen that you're available for the YouTube partner program more quickly. So that's very nice.
And we've been seeing this as well with YouTube keeps the right to run ads on your videos even before you are monetized. So this just shows us that there is pressure from stakeholders of the Alphabet company to make sure that the earnings each quarter on YouTube are what they expect them to be. So we're seeing a lot of pressure, I think, from the external world, and that is translating into how things are starting to trickle down for us people here, mere mortals on YouTube.
Could be, but like maybe YouTube is also like looking for ways to have more smaller creators like get like access to the YouTube partner program. Like, I think it's both ways. Yeah, I agree.
I think it's beneficial for YouTube to have, the more creators they have, the more inventory they have, the better their suggestions for long and short form content. It's like a flywheel for them, right? The more ads they have, they can serve, etc., etc., etc. So now, before we move on to the last topic of our podcast here, I want to quickly remind you guys to join our Discord community, because like Ron mentioned in the beginning, we do ask questions before we are going to do these podcasts, and we would love to hear what you are currently struggling right now, like where you at, to understand how can we best help you, because the single reason why we do these and why we decided to start this YouTube business podcast is so we can build a community, so we can build a relationship with you, and all of us can learn and just benefit from each other. So join our Discord community, let's interact, drop your questions, and each single week we'll be coming out with a new episode, and your question can be on this podcast. Matter of fact, if you would like to join us as a guest for one of these podcasts, we would probably love to have you on. So there's going to be a link as well down in the description. You can schedule your call with us, or you can just join the community, talk to us there. And let's make it happen. Let's talk, all three of us, you and us. Yeah,
I agree.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. The plan with the Discord is also to eventually do like weekly calls with everyone, like some sort of masterminds. Since, as we mentioned before, like the YouTube game is changing every day. So we need to keep up to date with everything that YouTube is changing as well. And of course, the more brains together, the more we can learn from each other. So that's on schedule as well. But if you want to join this podcast, the next podcast episode, let us know. Especially if you have like an interesting story, interesting channel, or a certain challenge you face, like maybe you can't get something solved for weeks, like we can discuss it all here, and maybe some people can learn from it as well. But talking about Discord questions, we actually got two of them. We have two in here. We got a question like how to increase the click-through ratio of a thumbnail mostly, since his video had a 6% CTR. It's a little bit, maybe a bit of a too broad question. Like 6% CTR can be pretty good in some niches, especially if YouTube is already pushing out your content to a lot of people. Like YouTube is testing out your videos and your CTR stays around 6 it's still pretty good for a new audience. So it's hard to say, but just to give you some general tips for making for getting a higher CTR, I think it's mostly the title and the thumbnail that needs to fit perfectly. You need to get some curiosity going in the viewer. They need to have a reason for them to click. And if you keep that in mind, then you can design your thumbnail in like a lot of crazy ways. I suggest you analyze some competitors who are performing really, really well. Of course, Mr. Beast, he's the king of the thumbnails. Everyone knows him. See what his best practices are, like what he's doing. I see a lot of times he's using his face on the left of the thumbnail, pretty zoomed in. Then on the background, he has, for example, the last one with the island. I think someone got an island or something. They're making the island look very bright and fancy, and there's someone like a parachutist, how do you call it? Like someone with a parachute's jumping down, so people are like, what is going on? So I can't say any bad words, but yeah. So make people more curious, you know. And I also have a big tip. If you have Twitter, follow. His name is Jay Alto. He's a thumbnail artist. He's sharing thumbnail tips every day. He also has a free PDF to increase your thumbnail or your CTR. So give that one a follow, definitely, and keep on testing and experimenting.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with Ron as well with the, your title and your thumbnail should tie in together. But even more than that is your overall video idea as well. Like if your video idea is bad, you can have the best title and the best thumbnail, but if the if the ground idea is not there, or like whatever, it's not going to perform. So for example, let me give you an example. I recently published a video. Actually, my last video I published was a conversation we had with Yuri, who does YouTube automation, and with Hessel, who also does YouTube automation. And that thumbnail, if you want to take a look on my channel, is super basic. It's 4 guys, each with a different facial expression. That's it. And then there's one element, and that element is an arrow, a red arrow pointing at one guy. Okay, that's a thumbnail. Thumbnail, 4 images, an arrow pointing to one guy. That's it. No text, nothing. And the title of the video is Meet the 18-year-old making $5,000 per month with YouTube automation. Now, the CTR on that video, I'm not kidding you, is 13%. And I think it's not because the thumbnail is crazy. It's not because the title is crazy, although they are good. They both relate to each other, but it's also the initial video that there's an 18-year-old guy who makes that much.
Yeah, it's curiosity, especially like the big red arrow you're pointing towards him. It's like, that guy is making 5K and he's just 18. Like how? People want to listen to that story. And I think like the thumbnail, it's not a crazy ass thumbnail. Like it's a pretty basic thumbnail, but it matches perfectly with the title. And yeah, so I think you need to experiment what's working for you. Test it out. But that one is
always think about curiosity. Like that's exactly like Ron said. You wanna go through your head, like in your head, like just think about it, because obviously everyone first sees the picture, the image, because we are visual creatures, and then after we see the thumbnail, then we quickly skim through the title. So think about it. What do they see? And what follows next? It's kind of like a 2-part thing. First, there's a red arrow pointing to this guy. So like, who is that? And then boom, there's a hook. This guy makes 5K at 18 years old. Okay, so it all needs to kind of like work back to each other. I'm not saying that every time I post a video I get crazy CTRs. No, this just happened to be that way because it's a great video. By the way, you should listen to it. You should check it out. It's a great conversation. Hessel is just a young king. Yeah. He's a young king right there. You heard it here first. But let's move on to the second question here.
Basically, the second question, it's a pretty basic question. But if you're starting out with YouTube and you're not sure what kind of niche you're into, what kind of niche you want to operate into, A lot of people think about saturation, like, can I still go into this niche, or is it too saturated? I think, if I speak for myself, nothing is too saturated on YouTube. Like, there are new people going on to YouTube every day. There are more people watching on YouTube every day. Like, the platform is still growing and growing. I think if you listen to this whole podcast, you already heard before, like, you need to focus on your audience, deliver nice quality videos, or deliver to the solution that people are looking for. Like, if you do that in a proper way, sooner or later you're going to get the views. And please keep in mind, it's not an overnight success. You know, it's you need to work hard. And I think if you work hard consistently and you have your audience in mind, you deliver good quality, I think it doesn't matter in which niche you're in. There's some audience for every video, I think. So my advice would be, start out on a niche you like, or maybe you don't like, but I don't know. I suggest you do a niche you like. Start out, focus on delivering the best quality videos to your audience, or providing the best solution to your audience. It depends a little bit if you're like, what kind of channel you want. Like, you want a search-based or more suggested-based. If you do that long enough, you definitely will get views and subscribers. Maybe not millions right away, but you will see growth definitely. And keep in mind, growth is different for everybody. So don't try to compare yourself to other people.
Things change and things get outdated. Maybe there is a search based video that has been posted 2 years ago. You look at it now and it's not really relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could it be updated in a better and provide a more straightforward, a clearer solution? Yeah. I mean, you can, but it takes a lot of time, just like Ron said, you know? Focus, I mean, I would have to agree with what most of you said, but like, you need to focus on making good videos, right? And try to make your videos better than the competition. I mean, that's it. It's a free market, right? Keep your end viewer in mind. You know, for example, let's take, I don't know, what should we take? What kind of a channel should we talk about? But like, yeah, no, I mean, I would have to agree with everything you said, really. Keep the end user in mind. Things change, things get outdated.
Do the work.
This is
also.
do the work. This is an equal opportunity for everybody. So if you put in enough work and you beat your competition, and you will get the views, you will get the money. But it is not easy.
I agree. And actually, those were the two questions we had. So if you're listening right now and you're thinking like, I have a question I really need to get answered, join the Discord, send your question in there, and we'll be answering it in Discord or in the podcast. Then I think for now it's a wrap, George. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this was a great podcast we did today here. And we want to thank everybody who listened to this podcast as well. I mean, this would not be possible without you guys. So thank you so much for listening, for watching us. We will be doing more of this. We will be upgrading. Perhaps you will see us with different sceneries in live talking sometime soon. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Who knows? So we have big plans for this podcast. Matter of fact, we will actually give you right now, before we end this podcast, a little sneak peek into what we have planned. So this podcast is going to grow, and we want to build the biggest community of entrepreneurially minded people here on YouTube who want to start their media companies. And we want to create the biggest learning academy, learning platform, where it's not going to be about me. It's not going to be about Ron. I think you're either here or here. It's not going to be about him. It's going to be about you, and it's going to be about many more other experts. So it's basically we're going to be trying to bring in as many other people who are in the same space and get them to talk about their experiences, their learnings. And we're gonna basically create this hive mind thing so we can each benefit from each other. So these are the things we have planned for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening, watching. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like or whatever you are listening to this. Ron, high five.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. And we will see you
Yeah.
in the next episode.
See you guys later.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.